Iron Mouse. We stand Iron Mouse here. This is a household that stands Iron Mouse. If you do not stand Iron Mouse, be gone, is all I have to say. But before we talk about Iron Mouse, it's very important that I make one quick statement really quickly, just really quickly. When Iron Mouse talks about, or when you see the letters IDF in relation to Iron Mouse, please understand she is not talking about Israel. She's not talking about the Israeli Defense Force. She's not talking about that. She is talking about immunodeficiency. Okay? She's talking about a charity organization for people with immunodeficiencies. Okay? So whenever they're talking about raising money for the IDF, they are not talking about war criminals. Okay? Just really quickly, they're talking about Immunodeficiency Foundation. It's a charity for people with immunodeficiencies. Okay? So just I feel like it's important to say that because the first time I saw that, I was like, who is supporting this? Who would support this VTuber? Oh my God. And then I saw like clarifications and it was this IDF. This was this one. It was this one. So yeah, they need a new acronym ASAP for real. So just to be very clear, maybe I'll put a little piece of text on the screen. IDF equals Immunodeficiency Foundation. Okay. All right. Isn't she immunocompromised herself? Yes, she is. And she's talked about how that's a big reason why she got into VTubing in the first place, because her health conditions have made it difficult to work a normal job and engage with the world, or even like, I think it's gone as far as like she can't really leave her house. So let's watch.
I am leaving VShojo. Unfortunately, I recently found out that for the past couple of months, I have been misled by VShojo. With the information that I currently have, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the thing that hurts me the most is that the Immune Deficiency Foundation, which is the most important charity to me, and also the reason why I'm here today, is owed over $500,000 from VShojo. I know that this is a lot, and it's very important for me to be honest with all of you. I really want to tell you everything, but unfortunately, right now, I have been instructed by my attorney to wait for more of the legal procedure to unfold. So one day, I will be able to tell you the full story. But for now, I just need to let you know that I will no longer be a part of VShojo. If you give me a moment of your time, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I know for a lot of people right now that this might be the first time you're ever watching me. I became a VTuber because I really wanted to make friends. I was very lonely due to the fact that I have a primary immune deficiency disease called CVID. I basically have a low to near non functioning immune system, which means I get sick a lot, and it caused me to remain isolated for long periods of my life. So then I found streaming, and I thought about giving it a try because I wanted to see if I could make some friends online because I honestly couldn't ever leave my room. I never really expected to grow an audience or anything. It was one of the last things on my mind. I just thought that I would stream to, 5 to 10 people and just hang out from time to time, make some friends, play games, and just continue on with my life. But unfortunately, I was too scared to stream with my face. So a friend of mine recommended that I try an app called FaceRig that would allow me to use an anime avatar to stream. And that's how I started VTubing. It took me a while to take it seriously and even begin to think about maybe being able to grow a community and even make this a career. I think I really started to take it seriously around the time when I was approached to join VShojo. And it was through VShojo that I was able to grow into the Iron Mouse that I am today. When I was approached in 2020 and asked to join VShojo, it seemed like a good idea, but I honestly did not know if I could ever be a corporal VTuber because I felt like I just couldn't. In my mind, I saw myself as unhireable, which is why
Couple things really quickly. One, Chatter, you made a little bit of a mistake here. Unfortunately, you can only make fun of me in this chat. The second you start making fun of people that I like, you get insta-banned because I simp. Okay? How about you go do anything valuable with your life ever, and maybe not be a total disappointment to your parents for maybe 5 seconds. For just maybe 5 seconds of your pathetic life, stop being a disappointment and spending all of your time typing stupid messages in a fucking chat that doesn't have anyone in here that likes you. How about that? Just for a second. Just as an idea. Just as one quick Simping ain't it, though? That's called respect. No, I'm reclaiming the word simping. Simping is a good thing. So, also, let me just talk about a couple things. First of all, VShojo, for anyone who doesn't know, it is an American talent agency focusing on promoting VTuber content creators. First VTuber agency fully based in North America, billed itself as a talent-first agency oriented towards providing resources such as models, merchandising, and advertising opportunities to its talent. For its shutdown, it was generally considered one of for its shutdown.
Denims
The
is
board shut down
streaming.
yesterday. It was considered one of the 3 major companies in VTubing alongside Hololive Productions and Niji Sanji. I actually don't know that one. Maybe it's more popular in like Japan or China or something, or Korea with other VTubers. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, VShojo. You can think about VShojo. This is not a perfect analogy. This is just for the purpose of people who don't know a lot about the VTubing space. You can think of it sort of like a content org, sort of like OTK. Not exactly, and they do different things and they operate differently, obviously. But yeah, Player, thank you for the 5 gift subs, by the way. Rune Maniac, thank you for the Manic, thank you for the 40 months. Lex, thank you for the 2 months. So yeah, just it's just an established content org that they get to promote up and coming VTubers, and then they get to benefit off of the large VTubers by maybe taking like a profit off of like all the merchandising. And I think in some cases, VShojo and I know Hollow Live, most recently with Gura. I feel like an old person talking about this. They sometimes have even the rights to the VTuber model and the VTuber name. I think with Iron Mouse, she had already established this stuff beforehand, and maybe it probably wasn't in her contract that they keep her model or they have the rights to her model. But yeah, think about it like the Daily Wire having owned Candace Owens' page, her channel, and that, or even Brett Cooper. So they have to make their own new stuff. So like with Gura, who was like a very big, and I think she still is Gargura, excuse me, a very big VTuber. She recently parted with Hololive, and she had to make a new model. She made this new model. I don't remember what, and she has like a new name. I don't remember what the new name. I don't watch a lot of VTubers. It's now Saba. Thank you guys. Thank you. Weebs rise up. Gura. Yeah, she got this new, this is her new, she parted with Hololive, and then obviously she doesn't have the rights to Hololive or like that old model and that old name. So she got this new account with this new, Rosen, we're not going to get into the details really quickly because like I'm sure everybody else is thinking about the same thing that I'm thinking about, but I'm not trying to get into it right now. Okay. This is not the stream for it. All right. This is not the stream for it, personally. But on that note, that's even worse, bro. What the fuck? On that note, really quickly, the lolly bait model. Listen, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I don't want to get that deep into it. All right. I don't want to get that deep into it. On that note, I don't want to see anyone commenting about that when it comes to Iron Mouse. Okay. Because 2 things. One, Iron Mouse's model. This is not lollybait. Okay? The model that she has chosen is not. It's not. It's not. Okay? She changes it all the time also. I'm just telling you, she's had a lot of models over the years. She gives her models huge titties, just like I would, okay? All right? Let it be known. Let it be known. So first of all, let me just make that. Let me just say that really quickly, okay? Second comment, all right? People will comment on her voice and be like, "Oh, she's doing like the kid voice." Okay. This is why you don't speak about things until you're sure about them, okay? Especially when someone announces that they have an immunodeficiency, because she's talked about this. It's lower. No, this is for VShojo. Where's the? Here it is. Iron Mouse's distinctive high-pitched speaking voice is the result of a lung infection due to CVID complications, which also resulted in her being on oxygen support 24/7. She's remarked some people refuse to take her seriously because of her voice, and that some fellow streamers have been shocked to find out that it was her real voice and it wasn't being manipulated with a voice changer. So, like, she literally has, or the reason her voice is as high-pitched as it is because of her illness. Like, it's literally her voice. Also, even if it wasn't caused by her illness, this, like, we've already done this, like, song and dance, okay, about people faking their voices. And let me just say, okay, if someone is doing it for years and years and years, and they stream for hours and hours and hours and hours, it's pretty hard to consistently fake your voice. And also, I don't like the universe where I become a crazy person assuming everyone is faking their voice. Okay? I've had friends with high-pitched voices that sound exactly like Iron Mouse, and they've had those voices since I knew them in high school. Lily Pichu is an example where, like, doesn't get any cred at all for that's just her voice. That's just literally her voice. That's just literally her voice. And also, low-key, not low-key, high-key, being friends with people, being friends with women who have high-pitched voices, that shit sucks, okay? Because nobody takes you seriously. And I mauled on their behalf. All right? Like, I literally mauled on their behalf. Like, I will fight for my friends with high-pitched voices. Why does faking your voice even matter if someone chooses to do it? Well, the reason that people always get a little sus about VTubers faking their voice is because a lot of them do, like, not a lot of them, okay? Not a lot of them. But some number of them do, like, lolly baiting, which is weird. Which is weird. Which is, like, I don't know how else to describe the emotion except for this. And that's why I go based on model. That's why I go based on the model. Because you get to choose what character model you use. And if you're choosing to have a character that literally looks like a child in all regards and is completely flat-chested, and then also you do, like, a baby voice or you have a really high-pitched voice, now I'm getting suspicious. But that's all I'm saying. I judge VTubers based on their character model. Because you got to choose every part of that. You got to choose that from start to finish. All right? I don't think cleavage suddenly saves lollybait. I mean, I think it's a good indicator that someone isn't necessarily doing it. Versus like you do a high-pitched voice or you naturally have a high-pitched voice and then you're choosing the most flat-chested character. It's like that also looks very childish. Like that one person that was making those comments. I'm not gonna play the clip. I'm not gonna play it. Mostly because I can't find it. But yeah. Yeah. When the model starts looking prepubescent. I'm sus. I'm sus. Also, there is a difference between having a high-pitched voice and doing like baby talk. Because I've seen clips of VTubers who have childlike models, and then they do baby talk where they're like, "And I went to the store," and I'm like, you're literally a grown adult. No one speaks like that. Literally, no one speaks like that. No one speaks. Whereas like Iron Mouse, you can hear her speaking. It's just she's speaking in complete sentences, adult human sentences, adult English human sentences. Her voice is just high pitched. So I will not hear any Iron Mouse slander on this front. Okay, I will not stand for it. Okay, continuing.
Streaming worked for me. I had no boss, no strict rules, I had no hours, no expectations. It was all up to me, and due to the fact that I have lived my life chronically ill and being unable to do much of anything, I just felt like there was no way that anyone would ever take me or want me. For a while, I was struggling to make a decision because I was afraid about my anonymity and afraid about trusting people because I felt like every time I put my trust in people, it always ends in grief for me. So I was worried about expectations and a million and one other things. But I ultimately decided to join VShojo. It really pains me that I am unable to fully explain why I am leaving. But for right now, here's what I am allowed to share with you. I would always be told how important I was for the company, and I was always told that I was needed in order for the company to succeed. Although that was very positive to hear, it put a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on me to the point where I felt guilt tripped into signing. I felt responsible for everybody. I felt responsible for staff and talent alike.
The craziest thing, by the way, about the content org stuff and like the content world is that if these fucking orgs weren't so greedy, like if these companies weren't such, and the people running these companies weren't such greedy fucks, there's so much fucking money to be made. Like every large content creator is making so much insane amount. Like I would say after you get to like 10K viewers or 20K viewers, you're sitting at like obscene amounts of wealth, right? Or you can make obscene amounts of wealth. And the only thing content creators or most content creators are asking for is just like help with like brand management and like help with uh like merch and help with like booking conventions and stuff like that, right? And then they just get to collect paychecks just by doing their jobs. But instead, they never want to do just their jobs. They insist on also doing all this other terrible shit.
And I felt like if I didn't do this and if I didn't stay, I was hurting everybody and I was destroying everybody's life. But this didn't feel right with me, and I began to feel extremely uncomfortable. As my viewers know, privacy has always been one of my biggest concerns. I've had a lot of scary experiences in my life, so one amazing thing for me was the fact that VShojo handled all my payments, and it meant that I never had to give out any of my personal information, so that was always a blessing to me. As time went on, I decided that I wanted to try to start pulling out my remaining funds because I wanted to start taking over my own finances. This is what led me to this point. Throughout the years, Connor and I have raised around $4 million for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. The majority of the money raised is through Tiltify at events like the Cyclothon, the charity auction, and other miscellaneous events that we've had. However, because of the success of my first subathon, I decided to donate half the earnings of my following two subathons to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. The first time I tried this, it worked great. Over 200,000 people supported me, and because of that, we raised over $329,350 to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Because the money came from my Twitch revenue instead of a Tiltify link, it required VShojo to make the donation on my behalf. They promptly sent the payment, and the subathon was a huge success. So I decided to do it again the next year. My last subathon was one of the biggest events I've ever done. The support was overwhelming, and I ended up getting over 300,000 subscribers and breaking the all time sub record. But this also meant that we had raised $515,000 for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I once again asked VShojo to make the donation on my behalf.
Why did she bother joining VShojo if she had her own thing going on already? I'm assuming you just missed it earlier, but she said that she wouldn't have been able to get to where she is now without VShojo. Like, oh Lord, do I want to handle this discourse right now? Are we recycling this discourse? Let me think. There's a lot of random miscellaneous shit that has to get done behind the scenes for content creation, for streaming, for subathons, for events, for whatever. And when you're doing this as like a one-man team, it's a lot easier to just let that shit stack up and pile up and not do any of it, right? She's also chronically ill. Yeah, that's also true. A good talent agency empowers you to focus on being a performer. Yes. Sorry, I had like a perfect analogy and I lost it. Oh man. It was right there and then I fucking like think about how many people have to work on like the Daily Show. Think about how many people have to work on like had to work on Colbert's show or Conan's show or John Oliver's show. Like there's a bunch of people that work on the behind the scenes to help prepare the show, to help prepare a fun script, to help prepare something, to do the audio, to do the video, to do the lighting, to do all of these things, right? Like this is a bunch of stuff that has to happen and someone has to do it. And when you are a content creator, a solo content creator, obviously you have to do all of it. You have to do the lighting, you have to do the camera, you have to set up all of the software with VTubing, you have to set up like the camera, the model software. I don't remember the exact name of like the app that people use. You have to prep the content. You have to prep like the events, the shows, the subathons, the whatever, right? You have to do all of that. If you have a team that's helping you, whether that's like helping you put out merch or helping you show up for like wheel your like monitor in to like a convention or to help you prep for big subathon events or whatever, having those extra people to help you manage your brand or manage your stream or manage any of that stuff, it makes like a huge difference. It lets you do way more things than you otherwise would be able to do. I mean, there's a reason we haven't made any merch, and it's because I just haven't gotten to it. And because I do everything myself on the show, like I'm going to get to it when I get to it, which might be another 10 billion years. Who knows? So, yeah. So she said earlier that like literally without VShojo, she doesn't know that she could have gotten to this point, which is fair. That's not a lot for a daily job. Oh, well, if you think it's so easy, go become a famous VTuber. I didn't realize that you thought it was so easy. If it's so easy, just go become a famous streamer.
But unfortunately, still a year later, VShojo has not paid the charity. The Immune Deficiency Foundation means the world to me. Connor and I have both spent a ton of energy, time, and resources raising money for charity. And we're both
Also, sorry, literally like standard 9 to 5 jobs, you have a team. So trying to compare any type of content creation with standard work as like a daily job, like when you work in an office or you work anywhere really, you generally have a team of people that you can delegate work to or that delegate work to you. Once you're at like Kai Cenat's level where it's easy to build that team because you can just pay all these people stuff. Like you want a set, you pay these people to build your set for you. But Iron Mouse is talking about growing to that size to be able to do that. And when you don't have enough that you can pay people a livable wage to help you work on your podcast or on your show or on your merch or whatever, it's not feasible to hire people. So you just do your shit yourself. Like that's right. Anywho. Aspen Bald sits in his trash heap and is famous. LMAO, it's not that hard. Then if it's not that hard, you should do it. If it's so easy in every way, then you should do it. Please.
so proud to be able to say that we've raised nearly $4 million for charity. We almost always raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. They help people with primary immune deficiency diseases, or PI, which are inherited disorders where a part of the body's immune system is missing or doesn't function properly, which makes people like me more prone to infection. And this includes over 450 different conditions. The Immune Deficiency Foundation is a charity that is near and dear to my heart and has a particular significance in my life. When my health first started getting really bad, the Immune Deficiency Foundation helped me immensely when I really had nowhere else to turn. I was terrified, I was lonely, and I was confused. I honestly didn't really know what was going on, and I never ever want anyone else to go through that. This entire situation has broken me. I just wanted to do something good and to give back to a community that helped me. But unfortunately, that's not the case. As much as I would like to continue to talk about this, unfortunately, I can't. So, to recap, I believe that I am owed a significant amount of funds, which I have not been paid. And most importantly, the Immune Deficiency Foundation is owed over $500,000 from VShojo. I really wish that I could tell you more, but right now, I have been advised to wait for legal proceedings. As of right now, I am
Right,
an
oh shit.
independent VTuber. I am at a loss of what to do right now. I'm kind of processing everything. I'm very sad and very confused. Once again, I want to apologize to the Immune Deficiency Foundation and to my community who has shown so much support to me. I also wanted to say that all the ad money made from this video will go towards the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I really, like I said, I really haven't had much time to process this. But below the video in the description box is a link to a donation fund for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Thankfully, any donations made through Tiltify go directly to the charity. That link is also there if you've heard about this and would like to support the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Sometime this month, I plan on doing a special live stream in order to raise money for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I hope to have a ton of friends joining me, and hopefully there'll be a lot of singing and a lot of fun and just a day full of happiness. I just honestly really want to show that after all of this, that VTubing is a force for good. So thank you guys so much for all the support, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And once again, I want to say that I am truly sorry. Okay, bye bye.
Can you imagine you put together one of the biggest subathons on Twitch and you donate half the money to a charity that's important to you, that means a lot to you, that's helped you, and your fucking content org just steals the money? Because they released a statement that was, spoiler alert, not good. This is the official VShojo page. VShojo has failed, and I've mismanaged the company into the situation you're all witnessing. So today I'm sharing the difficult news that VShojo is shutting down, and I take full responsibility for the decisions that led us to this point. I've been doing everything I can to fundraise and right the ship these past few months, but despite my efforts, we are in a worse position, and those I care about are now paying the price. Over the past few years, we've raised around $11 million to pursue a bold, talent-first approach in VTubing, prioritizing creators and community over short-term profits. Oh, really? And to achieve long-term sustainability. Really? Really? Our funding went directly to creators through generous splits, debut investment, infrastructure, concerts, events, staffing, and they were all designed to support them. We also wanted talent to own their own IP, which we knew was a unique creator-first approach for an agency. However, despite all our efforts, the business has failed to generate the revenue we needed to sustain that model, and eventually we ran out of money. Additionally, I acknowledge that some of the money spent by the company was raised in connection with a talent activity, which I later learned was intended for a charitable initiative. At the time, we were working hard to raise additional investment capital to cover our costs, and I firmly believed, based on information available to us, that we would have been able to do so and cover all expenses. We were unsuccessful in our fundraising efforts. I made the decision to pursue funding, and I own its consequences. I am deeply sorry to all the talents, staff, friends, and community members who believed in our brand. You did not deserve this. So let me get this straight. Your Gun Run, Justin, is going to get on the official VShojo page and say, oh, oops, I didn't know. I later learned that it was intended for a charitable initiative. How was I supposed to know that Iron Mouse, someone who constantly raises money for the IDF, Immune Deficiency Foundation, was going to be raising money this time? I literally didn't know, except for when I retweeted Ludwig saying Iron Mouse just blew past my old Twitch sub record and sells another day to break Kai's record. I've seen some weird people flame her on Twitter the last couple weeks, but I hope she shatters all the all-time sub record. She's a great streamer, has one of the best stories on Twitch, and is also donating half the money raised to charity. Go Iron Mouse. So you didn't know. You later learned it. You later. How much later are we talking? Do you mean like the same time that it was happening? You didn't know that it was for charitable. It was for charity, except when you retweeted this Ludwig tweet that said half the money was being sent to charity. One of the days that the subathon was going on. Is that right? Is that right? Did you also not know when you responded to this tweet from Iron Mouse saying, words can't express how I'm feeling, nor can they express my gratitude. Thank you all so much for the incredible support, and thank you for changing my life. Thank you for being the best community in the universe. We dream big, and we did it, bros. Love you all. So you knew that it was happening, but you clearly didn't know it was for charity, obviously.
I hardly know her.
What about maybe this one? What about maybe this one? This retweet here. So what are we doing here? Like literally, What are we doing? What are we doing? There's also, like, I know a photo of him holding up something where he's talking about how he's happy that they raised as much as they did for charity. What are we talking about here? This is when Kai shouted out Iron Mouse and inspiring him to donate to a good cause. Let me see.
She did her subathon for a good cause. And I was like, damn, that's a good idea. Instead of like, I should do it for a good cause, like, and put some money towards it. Cause like, it feels like a super, cause when I helped my family out first, that felt good. But the fact that you can help somebody who doesn't even know you, or like this, it's amazing. For real, I got inspired by,
There was another tweet that I saw that I just don't have on hand. And unfortunately, maybe, accidentally losing $500,000 that was supposed to be for charity, maybe losing that money when you're working with, I think Iron Mouse is like the largest American VTuber, like English speaking American VTuber. I think someone can double check me on that. I don't know anything about like Korean VTubers or Japanese VTubers or Chinese VTubers, so I can't speak on how large they are, or even any non-English speaking ones. But I'm pretty sure she's the largest English speaking VTuber. And unfortunately, I know, crazy, but actually, when you piss off one of the largest VTubers and then you accidentally lose all this money that you later learned was intended for a charity initiative, a lot of other VTubers, one, gain the courage to step away from their org that they probably didn't like, or two, realize they don't want to work with you anymore. And so that's the real reason they're closing. They lost their biggest talent, and then they lost a bunch of other big, important talents. And that's why they're closing. This is a good Ludwig tweet. Basically, y'all had $11 million in investor money you burned through and then proceeded to use the money that you owed the talent and $500K you owe charity as a runaway while searching for a new investor to dupe. You would be great esports owners. Oh. Real. This person, I actually don't, I know of, I've seen the name they, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen their stream. Said, and so now our NDAs are void. Why I left VShojo. Back in 2023, VShojo tried to bully me into one of the most predatory contracts I've ever seen. When I tried to ask more about it, their COO got extremely hostile with me and refused to answer any of my questions. So I had to hire a lawyer in order to get some clarification. During the talks, it became clear that VShojo would rather let me go than take less away from me. They were ultimately wanting me to give up more than half of all of my sponsor revenue, 60% of all merch sales, and all I asked from them in return is to not take a cut of the sponsors that I was getting through Mythic. And that cut was already being taken. They said no, they wanted it all. So I asked to leave after being treated like I was disposable in our talks. They basically made it seem like they were my employer and that they're the reason for my success, that I owe them and I should be happy to give them my money. In order for me to leave, they demanded I sign an NDA and prevented me from speaking to any of the other talent about it. I could not say why I was leaving. I could not say what the terms that I was saying no to were. I even got in trouble for advising them to hire their own attorneys. They would watch my streams, read my Discord, and threaten to sue me. If I said anything that hinted towards how I felt about the company, I was threatened with a lawsuit. Another one of their leave terms was that they will announce both me and Silver on the same day in order to minimize the damage to their company. And the COO
Denims is streaming.
Mystic Dragon, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Has begun to push a narrative on 4chan, yes, I'm serious, and other social media that I'm leaving because I plan to join OTK and that both me and Silvervale are troublemakers and they were letting us go. Later, I found out that Nyaners wanted to leave around the same time due to being unhappy with the contract, but but was told that she couldn't because it didn't fit their narrative that they were pushing internally and externally. The amount of hate we've gotten from our leaving, from fans calling us greedy bitches to people saying we're abandoning our friends and tossing aside the companies because we're not successful enough. Shit was fucking painful. Not being able to say anything sucked. I only found out I didn't get paid for any of my sponsors after I'd already signed the NDA. After 2 years, I have still not been paid back fully. To add insult to injury, they also demanded I had to pay them back $10K for some anniversary assets, which when they sent me back 10 months later, were half finished. Despite all of that, I've had immense faith that the company has gotten
Iron Mouse
better.
is so strong and doesn't deserve having to go through this because of corporate greed.
I assume that they rewrote their contracts after losing 3 people due to them and seeing all the new talent join. Clearly, this was not the case. Now for some fun facts. Their company lawyer... Wait, before we get to the fun facts. TLDR, when I tell you guys that, like, so many content orgs and, like, companies are so unbelievably, like, predatory. Like, I understand that all corporations are predatory because under capitalism, whatever makes you more money is worthwhile. But, like, the content org is especially fucked. It's especially like fucked because a lot of content creators, especially content creators that haven't worked normal jobs, whether it's because they're immunodeficient or they have immunodeficiencies and they can't, or because they haven't, just like Amaru or whatever. When you don't have that frame of reference, it's a lot easier to exploit you. Whereas once you've been exploited by like a traditional employer, I feel like you become a little bit more aware of like how that works. And with content creation, there's such a focus on making more content that's good that it's very easy to let all the other stuff just like get ignored. This is why like so many content creators have disgusting homes that are just like always in a state of disarray, because in the moment it's like, okay, well, I can do like this 10-hour stream, or I can prep for this really awesome stream that I want to do tomorrow, or I can clean my apartment. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to prep for stream. And so for a lot of content creators that put content above everything else, literally everything else just falls to the wayside. Like, I know that this is true for me, where a bunch of shit just like literally I just ignore it and I don't deal with it because I just like don't have the energy to deal with it. That's why Aspen... Okay, well, no. Millionaires don't have an excuse because you should be hiring someone to just clean your house for you at that point. Okay, like that literally makes no sense. That makes no sense. And also, there's a difference between living in a messy home and living in like a biohazard. Okay? Living in a home that looks like it belongs in a horror game. Like, I will tell you guys, my apartment always has like 6 to 7 cardboard boxes that are either open or closed at all times. I clean my apartment and it's like, it's spotless. I'm like, oh my God, I just spent 5 hours cleaning and it looks spotless in here. Yay. And then within like 2 days, I'm like, how? How did this happen? How? There's a difference in clutter and filth. I cannot stand filth. Like I cannot stand filth. But like my shit gets cluttered. But it's also like that for also, yeah, Wormy's here with me. Hi, Wormy. Wormy. Anyways. The boxes are spotless too. The boxes are gone, people. I took care of it for now. The same goes with everything else that comes with content as well. It's like, yeah, you could plan for this like subathon and like get this like room ready and get a bunch of guests ready and set everything up, or you could get like merch working or merch up. So yeah, there's like what does this even mean? You are entertainer. Don't make out of you political shithead. I don't even know what this means. Listen, I have no issue with you getting drunk at 10 a.m. on a Friday. That's valid. I'm not going to stop you. But like, you have to just read your sentence again. Okay, just read it again. Make sure it makes any sense at all. And then send it, okay? All right? All right, please. 0 neurons fired. The neurons are gone, people. They're gone. Anyways. Yeah, I've seen some contracts in the content space, and it's like, this is crazy. Like, I've seen insane contracts where it's like, we own like the rights to everything that you make for the next 2 years, and a year after your contract, we still will be owed 20% of all your income. I'm like, and I know people who are signing these. I'm like, that's crazy. That's insane. So anyways, continuing. And you guys know me. I'm all about like, listen, I'm all about the workers, okay? I know that we're using the word worker here a little bit more loosely, but at the end of the day, who's creating the entertainment value? Is it the VTuber, or is it the company that profits off the VTuber? Continuing, their company lawyer has an expired law license. He does not practice law anymore, yet he was our point of contact for any legal help we needed. Oh my God. They actively, hiring an actual lawyer would have been too expensive, and the CEO and COO need to make as much money as possible, so they can't hire an actual lawyer. They actively pitted us against one another during my time there and compared our success to each other. They tried enforcing streaming schedules so our view count would look better due to less overlap. They would always talk shit about other VTuber agencies. They literally would spend company money to get a tiny dig at them, especially HoloLive. It literally lived rent-free in Gunrun's head. They were convinced HoloLive was over when they signed Kason and Nazuna. Our previous talent manager got ghosted for 6 months by Gunrun. They told not to do any work for us, and then got fired for not doing anything. During this fiasco, we weren't able to get any assistance. MTD got reprimanded for being creepy to us. LOL. Got told not to message us privately. Go figure. I have proof from other streamers attending their IRL parties that MTD would actively talk shit about me after I left the company to paint me in the worst light imaginable. Don't know why you're acting innocent on Twitter, pretending you weren't aware of anything. Can't wait to see all the shit that's come out about you, because there's loads, but those aren't my stories to tell. Thanks for reading, and thanks to those who stuck around between then and now. Thank you for giving me, Silver, and Nyan the benefit of the doubt when we needed it most. MTD is Mo Tendu, ex-CMO and CTO who suspiciously left 2 months ago. Law student here. Lawyer licenses only expire when they're very distressed. Yeah. And then I saw a clip of this. Is this, I don't know if, yeah, I saw this. This is another person that was pissed about VShojo.
Did you just say?
This is a really funny clip. It's like all of this is fucked up because it's all these people being exploited, but also it's really funny to watch this shit burn to the ground. Oh, this is what Silverveil said about how they treated certain talent. Okay, we'll look at this in a sec.
Say that VShojo JP itself was doing good
そうですね。
in finances too.
そうです。
You haven't paid me.
っていうことになるんですね。本社の中の帳簿上はそう。
Sorry, I'll read out what this is. VShojo Japan CEO.
This too.
そうです。
You
And he
haven't
says that's right. Sorry, let me.
paid me.
っていうことになるんですね。
Yeah, I guess that's the case.
本社の中の帳簿上はそう
That is what I
ってい
heard
うことを
from the intercompany
Lucky.
situation.
でもタレントに1円も
But
払
you
わ
didn't
れて
even
ない
pay the talents a single yen.
状態っていうのを把握して
You realize that, right?
そうか。
そうです。
Yeah.
資金的にうまくいって
That I don't think it's going well.
入ってくるお
And
金
he
と
says, if you only look at the
出てい
numbers,
くお金の
money coming in and money
数
going
字の
out.
みを見たら、日本の支部っていうのは
The Japanese branch, we're doing
うま
well.
くやっていたってことですね。
出ていこうかな。入ってきたおかな。
And she says, money coming in, money going out.
I quit VShojo today.
はい。
VShojo やめます今日。
はい。
はい。31日予定でしたけど。
Also, what's the argument there? Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. If you can't see the if you can see the salt expression through a VTuber model, you're so cooked, bro. I know. Even with the model, you can feel the what the fuck. Well, because like when you're making an expression that isn't like sadness or happiness, the like face scanning, face tracking software will struggle a little bit. And like the face rig kind of bugs out and it like doesn't know what emotion to show. So it just like does some weird shit, which kind of comes off as like eye twitching. Like
お金の数字のみを見たら、日本の支部っていうのはうまくやっていたってことですね。
出ていこうかな。
And the models they're not rigged to express this emotion yet. So it's like
入ってきたおかな。I quit VShojo today.
はい。
VShojo やめます今日。
はい。
はい。31日予定で
it was
した。
scheduled for the 31st, but I'm gonna quit today.
I quit. This is very wrong. Very, very wrong. You're telling me that VShojo JP was doing good. Looked like, at least.
はい。
Doing good.
払っていたとしても、ケイソンに払っていたとし
Even
て
if
も
we paid you based on the
大
calculations,
丈夫だったってい
we'd
う
still be
感じ
fine.
ですね。
You're telling me you could have paid me?
そういうことです。
Oh my god, I didn't see the extended version of this.
And where is it? Where is it? I want it now. Oh. Did you just die? What?
いや、
Where's my money, bitch? Where's my money? For anyone who missed it, she said, so you're telling me the company was doing well, but you're not paying any of us. And he says, well, yeah, we could have paid you at any moment and it would have been fine. And she said, what? Then where is it? Where are the payments? And then he just says nothing. And then he says nothing.
つまり、払えたかもしれないっていうか、まあ、
You might have been able to pay, or rather,
そう
well,
ですね。
That's
JP
right.
のお
I'm
金
not the
ちょっ
only
と私
JP
だけじゃ
talent.
ないんですけれども。
Wait, this isn't a parody? No, this is like a real, this is a real VTuber, right? This is like a large VTuber?
財布が一緒になっていたんで、
はい。
私が見えるのは、財布の全体ではなく、入ってくるお金と、
Sorry. He says, not the whole company. Sorry, let me just go back.
なんで、
けれども。
はい。財布が一緒になっていた
Because the funds
んで、
was the same.
はい。
私が見えるのは、
All I can see
財布
is
の全
that
体では
not
な
the
く、
whole
入っ
company
てくるお
funds, but
金
money was coming in and
と出て
going
いくお
out.
金。
でもその財布に入ってたお金は、
But the money in that
本来
fund was supposed to pay the
タレン
talent.
トに払う額のお金でしたよね。
はい。
ちょっと何言ってるかわかんないんですけど、まあ
So I don't
ちょっとそれ
understand
は
what you're
置いとい
saying.
て。
Damn, dude. This is fucked. This is so fucked. Kason is a veteran. She's been big for years, was even in Hololive for a while. That's crazy, dude. That's insane. Here's another VTuber. I'm scared to pronounce how this is supposed to be pronounced. Explaining the financial situations behind the scenes. Yeah, scenes.
There was just a lot going back where I was like, things in my
Oh, this is my type of VTuber. Wait a
mind
minute.
had not been.
Like Giga? Giga?
going too well for them for a long while. And I felt that way for a long while. And then they wanted to bring people in. And I said, I don't know if we should be bringing anyone in when these issues are here. I don't know if I like that, especially
What you doing later, Giga?
with smaller talent, because let's talk about money for a second. Be very realistic about this. When you are a company, the nature
Wormy,
of your
don't judge
company is
me.
when you bring someone in, they don't instantly get hundreds of thousands of followers. When you bring in someone who's a small name, who doesn't have any
Don't
prior
look at me like
audience, who
that.
doesn't have any prior anything they're bringing with them, right? This is not a company that just debuts someone unknown and they get a billion people following them. That's not what this company has. We have our own communities individually that do support other people, but for the most part, they're there for us, the members, you know? So I was saying that, and I was like, let's be
What are those long cigarette holders called? Sex appeal.
realistic. That's how this company is. So if we bring in a small talent, they're not going to get like blown up to stardom. There's a chance still, but it's not like high. It's not likely or guaranteed or anything like that. It's a small chance. What's more likely to happen is you bring someone in, they get noticed a bit, they get a little bit of a boost, right? Not enough to take the cuts that you take of the things that they make and pay back for the money you put into them. Not enough. You would be running on a negative on them. If we had a lot of money, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Because if we're profitable in other places and then you want to throw extra funds into that just to support it, that's its own thing. That's cool. I'm totally fine with that. But I was like, guys, I don't think we're in that position. This is at the time me not knowing the exact financial situation, but me having looked at things for a long time and been like, yeah, it's probably not going to work, right? I just knew for a long time, like, this is not this is not set up well in a way where we're going to be like super profitable on our own. So I was like, I just don't think we're in a position to do this. And I got pretty much like silence as an answer, like in a call. And some like, well, we're trying to something. It was just a lot of like nothing, you know, a lot of nothing. And some words were said that basically were just hot air, you know. And I was like, well, all right, so you want me to be okay with when later I found out one of the people was one of my own friends. I was like, now I'm extra mad. Right? Like, I have to watch you potentially promise a friend of mine a bunch of things that I know you can't really help with. My friend, someone who wants to do music. Can you pay for a concert for this person? No, because they hadn't been covering stuff like that for any of us. They hadn't been covering anything for us. So if someone comes in, they want to do like music, which means getting a 3D model, doing concerts, doing all this stuff. I was like, that's an expensive venture. Can you help them with it in that you can connect them maybe to some resources for it? Yeah. You help them financially? No. So if they're a small talent and they want to do music, what can you actually do for them? What are you offering them? Genuinely. Like, oh yeah, we'll email a studio for you. Why can't they do that themselves? Right? Like, I was just like, I don't know what we're thinking here. Again, if we had all the money in the world, then I'd be like, hell yeah, because then we could throw funds at stuff and help launch somebody. It's marketing budget that it can actually work out, but we didn't have that. So I was pointing this out. I was pointing this out the whole time. I was pointing this out before I knew who some of the people were that were potentially joining. I was like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And I was just trying to be very realistic. I was trying to be very realistic, and I was saying things pretty nicely. I had spoken with people in like leadership in separate calls many times about business, about strategy, and I had been bringing up since before I joined, things that we could do to make this profitable, because I'm no stranger to startups. I understand what you do is you start a company, you get investment, you run at a loss at first, and then over time, you inject that money in the right spots that you can become profitable. That's very normal. That is very normal for startups. A lot of them don't make it, but some do. And I felt like with the talent pool that we had every reason to be able to make it after like a 5-year period, let's say, right? We had every reason to be able to do that. But I was looking at what we were doing, and I wasn't privy to every bit of information. Obviously, I was just privy to some little bits. Even with the little bits I was privy to, I said, hey, you should do this, this, and that to become profitable. You're not doing this, this, and that. So I spent so much of my time while being in the group pushing these things forward. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. And I was really trying. Like I said, I was sitting there in meetings with people, like spending real time on this, writing up notes, handing written up things to people, etc. Nothing. And I was like, brother, in my mind, this is not something I said to them. In my mind, I was like, they should just give up. This is what I thought. They should just give up trying to do some of these things that they're trying to do, because it's not going to work. Not that they should give up the whole thing, but some people should just step back, because clearly they're not suited to this. Maybe some people should just take a different role, because the role that they're in is not what they can do, right? I was just like, it ain't good. And if the talent are the only ones who are really seeing it, there were some staff that absolutely did. Like I said, like my own manager, he and I would sit there in meetings and we'd go over my stuff for the week. And then I'd also go over like company stuff, you know, and I'd be like, hey, realistically, this thing should happen. That we should be doing this. This project here is not being done the way it should be, et cetera, et cetera. And I was just pushing stuff up the chain. And it was like once it went past that layer of like our managers, it like died. I don't know what happened to it after that. Like I know and I trust for a fact that my own manager was sitting there pushing these things up the chain. And then I myself was sometimes too, but it just like brick wall, donut wall. That's it, right? I was just like, well, okay, all right. You know, I would see sometimes things be done where money
Which
was
like, this is just the common meme with every single fucking corpo, by the way. I mean, everyone here who's worked a traditional job, you've experienced it, where like you will tell your higher ups, hey, idiot, I understand you don't know anything about this company because you don't actually work for the company. You just tell everybody else what to do. But this is not a good model. This is not a good model. What do you not understand about this? And then you just get ignored. It's like, okay, dude, all right. I mean, literally go look at like the entirety of the video game industry, the AAA video game studios, and how they are incapable of making an appealing game anymore. Because they've lost the desire and love to create a genuine experience like Baldur's Gate. And I get like Baldur's Gate isn't for everyone, and Baldur's Gate wasn't your thing if you don't like D&D or you don't like turn-based games or whatever. Maybe you have a different game that's like that for you. I mean, even look at like Overwatch. They put all this soul and heart into this game, and then they fucking killed the game with stupidity. It's like, yeah, for sure. Listen to like the worst people in the community and then don't listen to the overwhelming support for certain changes. Like when Brig was released, the number of people that said, please, for the love of God, put her back in the workshop and re-release her later. Just no one is going to judge you. No one's going to be mad at you, Overwatch team. Just put her back in the closet. Just throw her, just like, do a little bit of homophobia and just she's not ready yet. Okay? You open the oven and she's still raw on the inside. Okay? She's not cooked yet. Let her cook. All right? And they released her and she wasn't good. Like she was too good. And she ruined like she didn't even just ruin the meta of the game. She ruined people's perception of the game. I'm not joking. Like, I think that's about when I quit also, where I just got tired of every single game. I'm like, I'm in like Diamond and people are like, we have to run goats. We have to run goats. It's like, you're so fucking stupid. Go watch a pro player and watch them not run goats in top 500 games. You don't have to run goats. The only people that have to run goats are the professional players who have to play against fucking Korean players who know every single fucking thing about this game. What is goats? Don't worry about it. It was just like, it was a meta where people were running triple tank, triple heals. No DPS. And it would be, I was like, I was losing my marbles in these games, like in these ranked games, where I was like, literally, why are you telling the one-trick Genji to play Winston? He can't play Winston. He's never played Winston. He is not a scientist. Just let him play Genji. And they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm raging. I'm gonna play. Fine, you're gonna stick on Genji, even though you have 10 kills and only 1 death. Well, I'm gonna play Widowmaker. It's like, how do I get you permanently banned from this game? How do I make sure? How do I get as few players like you out of this fucking game? I hate you. The problem with the game is always people at mid-rank inventing a strategy that they could not pull off. Yeah. You're making me want to play Overwatch? No, don't go back. Anyways. Same thing in League also. Yeah, it's just like, dude, if you only have like a couple characters in your kit, which is fine, why would you play something else? Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, all that is to say, like, in this time of great strife, the Overwatch team, instead of like actually putting in good game design and listening to people who could explain why this would be good game design, they were so attached to like their game and they were so attached to their characters. They were like, well, we can't just like unrelease Brig and re-release her later. We have to keep her in the game and make sure we drive away as many players as possible. It's like, Why? Why? Why would you do this? This is so stupid. Anyways, moving on. Back to VShojo.
Get spent in a way where I was like, why did we do that? It was mostly in the past. While I was there, for the most part, there wasn't really money being spent on random because I don't think there
I mean, yeah, leadership and ability to admit making a mistake. Yeah. I mean, the same problem happens on Twitch, where Twitch streamers have tried so hard to try and communicate to like Twitch CEO or Twitch execs that like how they're running the company is not the most efficient way to run the company. And there are certain things that they should be doing and there are certain things they should not be doing. And they just like don't want to listen. And it's like, okay, man, sure.
was money to spend on random like that, like they did early on. But I looked back and I was like, what is some of this? Like, what were people thinking? Yeah, like the Subway ads.
Here they are. It's a lot of money. This is one of the ways that you can get it. There's also this piece of information here, and I'll let you explain how much this costs. So what this says in Japanese is right here, this says that for one of those pillars, 7 days, if I'm not mistaken, it'll cost 40 million yen, which is about $250,000 for one. If you want to take over the whole thing, it would cost 200 million yen, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it's a fuck ton. Okay, it's like an insane amount of money, and that's to get all those pillars for 7 days of advertising.
I remember looking at it at the time even and being like, is that the right usage for that? What if one of those was just a concert instead? Right? Like legitimately, you could have gotten an entire like concert for one member for the cost of like one of those Subway ads. So I remember this is stuff I was thinking before even joining. I was just like, look, do I think sometimes spending money on stupid marketing ideas works out? Yes, I've seen it work really well, actually. But that one in particular, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, man. A lot of stuff that was odd. But again, you know, I worked on joining because I was approached directly and I was handed a version of a contract. I was not told, you got to sign this. I was told, this is what we hand people to start with. Please lawyer up and work with us on this. You know, that's what I was told genuinely. I'm not going to pretend that 100% of everything was bad all the time and start punching at them and being an asshole like that. That was good. I had my own lawyer and I sat there and negotiated things and I ended up with a version of the contract that was very different than what was put in front of me. And it was something that I genuinely was like, yeah, I'm chill with this. And, you know, my plan was to join and be there forever. My plan was to join and fix a lot of things if I could, with full knowledge that it might not work because, again, I'm no stranger to startups. I know how many of them don't work out. And my plan was, well, if it doesn't work out, I will at least have things done in a way where I'll be okay. You know, that's it. And that was, you know, here we are. So am I going to lose some things? Probably, yeah. But I still conducted things the whole time I was there carefully because I knew from before I joined, again, when they were giving initial pitches to me and stuff, like, this looks likely to not be okay. I wish I knew how much of a bad situation some other members were kind of in. I did not realize how much money some of them were just kind of leaving with the company, stuff like that. I did not know these sums. I may have said a lot more beforehand had I known. I still did say a lot. I did a lot to try and make sure people could make informed decisions within my means, whatever I was able to say. And I was internally, you're allowed to say a lot, you know. So I was very outspoken and I was very forthcoming with information. I held a lot of discussions between myself and some other talent and staff and leadership, especially, to try and make sure that concerns that I had, that they had, were spoken. Because if someone was sitting there thinking about something and going, oh, I don't know if this is right, or I don't know if this thing is done the way it should be, or blah, 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 I didn't want it to die with them just thinking about it in a corner. I was like, let's actually sit down and talk about a lot of things. So I set up a lot of calls and meetings and different things. And I sat down with people and took their concerns and itemized them into lists and all of this stuff and made sure that the concerns were properly heard. You know, I did all of that. I did all of that. And I still feel like I didn't even do as much as I could have. I could have, if I decided to not stream for a while, I could have sat down and just done so much of that. But, you know, I did what I felt was way more than enough considering I was not like getting paid as an employee to do any of this. Yeah, I made sure that a lot of concerns of the talent were itemized and said and spoken. And especially because some people are just nervous talking about this stuff. Some people are like really unsure about how to conduct themselves in these kinds of conversations, etc. So I made sure I helped there. And so I sat down, had discussions with people. I said, hey, here's what I need. By the time I was doing this, I'm going to probably make a video talking more in depth at some point. But by the time I was doing a lot of this, I was already preparing to leave. I hadn't really told people that's where I was, but I was already ready for that. I still wanted to help. I stayed longer than I wanted to. I stayed a lot longer than I wanted to sit there and try, you know, and do, again, a lot of the very recent information was not stuff that had come to light yet. So I was like, there's still that Hail Mary that we can do where we can sit here and talk over a lot of this stuff and just see what happens. See if some people are willing to give up the reins on certain things, if some people are willing to adjust strategy, right? Like change what they think we should be doing and just adjust paths. Because again, with the people that we had, no reason why it shouldn't have been able to work, genuinely. So I was like, let's just sit down and talk about it, right? And we did. We talked. We talked a bunch, and I even gave my meeting notes to leadership that I was sitting there note taking the whole time while we were talking. I was doing all the work I shouldn't have to do, handed it over, and I said, you've got a week to make a roadmap. So you have to address all the things that we itemized out, say what you're going to do or what you intend to do or what the status is or whatever, and then some sort of timeline. So we have something tangible to go off of, because I was like, look, I'm flirting with the idea of leaving. I was really wanting to leave, but I was flirting with the idea of leaving is what I told them. And this is what I would need to consider staying, is these pivots on these things, right? Really structured meeting. A week later, I'm given a roadmap that I thought was not sufficient at all for me to want to change my mind or even try at all. Some people were like, I'd like to give some of these things a shot. I said, this is to other talent, I said that I already did way more than I signed up for. I set up a damn meeting. I've done more than enough. I was already ready to go. I really hope it works out. But I stayed for quite a while to make sure that I helped them through that. And then I put in some notice ahead of time and was like, yeah, I'll be gone by this date. If you magically conjure solutions to these things, maybe, you know, but you'd have to like cast a damn spell. There you go. And they have.
And like, let me talk about a couple things. Organizing and planning these like really big events and monumental shows or anything creator related. I'm not going to claim that it's easy to do. Okay. In fact, I would say the opposite, because creators are unbelievably difficult to fucking corral to do anything. But if you have talent that you're directly profiting off of, and you're getting to make like some percentage off of their ads, their sponsors, their merch, how? Like, how are you fucking up this bad? Every office has a handful of people like this who genuinely keep the whole place running and they never get the recognition for it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, low key, for example. Okay, I'm going to shit on Twitch a little bit. The way Twitch spends their money is crazy. Okay. And the way that Twitch like refuses to listen to any of its creators about, I don't know, making a better fucking UI. How do we still have such a shit UI? Oh my God, dude. I don't get it. I genuinely, I will die on this hill. Why is the Twitch UI so bad? It's bad on mobile and on desktop. I get one of them. Okay. Like I get one of them being bad, but both, really? Like trying to navigate to people's VODs or their clips, it's just like impossible. It's just like actually impossible. And I feel like it's gotten worse. Like I feel like their goal has been trying to make it worse. Like it used to be kind of easy to go to people's VODs, and now it's like hard. Or not hard. It's not difficult to do. It's just more clicks for some bizarre reason. It's like they actively want as few people as possible to be on the app. The dark souls of accessing content. Yeah. Or like another thing that I know a lot of people have talked about is like, hey, you know, can we get like ads? The way that ads are viewed on Twitch, it has never made any sense at all to put, because Twitch is a live streaming platform, you can't run ads the same way that you run ads on YouTube. On YouTube, you can run ads wherever you want because the video's just paused and it'll pick up when the ad's over. With Twitch, you're in the middle of like watching someone and they're about to say something crazy. They're about to break down some crazy shit or they're about to make a crazy play or whatever. And then there's a fucking ad in the middle. And then guess what? When the ad is over, they're like, anyway, so that's the story. It's like, and people have talked about it for so long. Like, hey, can you make less intrusive ads? Like, it's fine. We'll even take ads that remove the visuals, but you can't just put these ads on the screen in the middle of a broadcast and then remove all the audio. Like, why not, as one random idea I just came up with right now, why not have an opportunity for viewers to say, like, delay ad for 5 minutes? Like, you really want to see what's going to happen right now. You're like, I'll just delay it right now. And instead they get served a bunch of banner ads until then. Like, why not that? Why not anything? Or at least give an opportunity for there to be like a pausing of the stream and the stream will pick up where you left off. Oh, hi, Oxy. Twitch has had banner ads for 5+ years, but they're super rare. I don't get it. I don't get it. I genuinely don't understand. Give me a rewind button. Yeah. The fact, so YouTube is really good about this. With live streams on YouTube, it's so easy to see what you just missed. On Twitch, it's like impossible to see what you missed. It's like you have to click on their username and then you have to like scroll down and check their VODs and you have to like sort by VODs. It's very difficult for no reason. Like if I was to open Mike's stream right now really quickly, we open this up. Okay, I want to see the VODs. It used to be that the VODs would be right down here, but they're not anymore. So instead, you have to click on their username, shows you home, and it shows you some random fucking featured clips. And then you get to go to their videos, and then it doesn't. And for some people's pages, it doesn't even do this either. I think when I've gone to oh, is it not showing on screen? Sorry. I was not showing it. My bad. Hold up, let me pull it up. Let's say I was pulling up Mike's stream. I want to check the VODs. VODs aren't even showing up down here. They used to show up. They don't show up anymore. Let me zoom out because I'm a little zoomed in. So you have to click on their username. And then when you're on their username, it doesn't show it here. Why would you not show? Like, I feel like old broadcasts should be the first thing that show up. It should be the first. I have never, ever gone to someone's page to go look at their clips. It's happened like once. Ever. And then like also on a personal note, just like it's a clunky UI. Like I hate this. This like random block is so nasty. It's just disgusting. So then you have to go to their videos. And when you go to their videos, filters by default, which is featured clips and recent broadcasts. And some people's pages I found don't do this. Some people's pages I found I've had to do past broadcasts for it to actually show up. And then you get to click on it, and then you go back to where you want. It's such a bad system. It's like so bad. And it's like, hey, dude, if the Twitch people were just willing to listen at all and just just stop spending money on like a lot of things that I think are unnecessary and start spending money on this stuff, like making the UI good, people would spend more time on your website. I don't want to talk about the mobile app. Like I hate the mobile app. If you like it, good for you. I hate it. I think it's actually like dog shit. I hate being on it. I hate how small the chat is. I hate that like you can't look at someone's full title. Like if I was to open, I hate this thing that they did where like it shows you like whatever the fuck this is without the chat. It's like half of Twitch is the chat. Why? And then you have to go to their stream, which you have to click another button for some godforsaken reason. And then, dude, God forbid. Hold up. Let me just. God forbid there's a pinned message, by the way. It blocks half the chat. And when I've tried to like look at people's titles on mobile, it like doesn't show you the whole title. And there isn't a way to say like, show the rest of the title. This is a smaller one that pisses me off. Why doesn't it show the correct full view count? Why did they start this rounding up, rounding down nonsense? I know that that one's less important. It just pisses me off. So anyways, you have to turn it sideways. And I don't know about you guys, but I have my phone locked so it doesn't turn sideways. So I have to unlock it and then do that. And then so I can see what's in the title. And using the mobile for full chat experience seems counterintuitive. IMO, if you in one place long enough to hold a convo with other chatters and streamers, you're going to need a whole keyboard. Otherwise, you're going to be 30 chat messages behind. I don't know. Some people are really fast at typing. So I don't know. If there's a pin in a hype train, I literally can't read the pin messages on the app. Moving on. All this is to say, this is just like executives who refuse to listen to the actual people that use their platform or make their platform be what it is. And with like the VTubers, it's even crazier because it's like, dude, you guys signed on all these massive VTubers that are bringing in crazy revenue, and you're still fumbling this. That's crazy. That's actually amazing. That's actually incredible. So yeah, VShojo, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's very funny that they're closing because they literally can't manage a company that should manage itself, honestly. And then other people have also talked about how like their experiences have been negative with like VShojo or I mean a lot of VTubers talking about like this person saying, good thing I trusted my gut when VShojo tried to recruit me. Their contract was riddled in red flags and basically legal robbery. Makes me sick to my stomach. Please, if you can support Mouse and the IDF, dude, they have to stop saying IDF and they have to start saying Immune Deficiency Foundation. Because when I first saw this tweet, I was like, the what? And then I was like, okay, wait. Okay, it's immune. Oh, okay. All right. Mouse is also simply bigger than VShojo. How are you going to fumble your star? Like, it literally, it makes no sense. Apparently, most of the talents had their own personal managers, too. I don't know what the fuck VShojo was even spending their money on. Closing down because they mismanaged a company that was printing money so badly that they ran out of money, LMAO. Fun fact, if you subscribe on mobile, it's $2 more for tier 1. And to cancel a sub, you have to log into a web browser, and the mobile browser Chromium never works. So you have to do it all on PC. That's crazy. It's a running joke. They refer to it as the good IDF. Yeah. How do you have the LeBron of VTubers and lose money? Like, how? How? I mean, I'll tell you how. They spend a bunch of money on useless garbage that no one asked for or needed, like a bunch of fucking, like, collabing with Subway or whatever the fuck, buying a bunch of banner ads that are unbelievably expensive for no fucking reason, and then paying a bunch of people that don't do anything. And it's like, oh, well, we need these people for, like, designing this thing that you're never going to use, that you didn't ask for, and that we didn't speak to you about. What? Did you cover them tweeting, or sorry, did you cover this tweet of them leaking VTuber identities? Oh, was it this one? I think I pulled it up for a second. This person moved from a noted VTuber community to another as a staff last year, bringing about his new income. He thrusted me in a few of his business. Sorry, he thrusted me a few of his new business cards to give to my good contacts. I found the action obnoxiously rude, but maybe he was too young and friendly to know better. Then the motherfucker wanted to meet up for tax advice because I'm a native in Japan and I hire an accountant. I was asked to have dinner in his area, which is quite far from me, splitting the bill. That day I got convinced I didn't like the guy. That's really funny. Just being a totally obnoxious douchebag in every step. Yeah, because I love the talents he worked with. I was only secretly hoping he would lose his job one day. I love like the I love that you can feel the vitriol even through the slightly broken English. Like you can feel how much this person hates this person. Even if it's not being communicated perfectly. They literally ran VShojo like a Ponzi scheme and it came crashing down just like Bernie Murdoch. Recently, I heard from another creator that he was showing photos of VTubers as real selves while revealing their personal info like marital statue. I think she meant status. I now wanted to find a way to warn other employees. Today, I learned the most despicable shit the company has done to their talent. I don't know if he's involved with it, yet all my personal grudge is nothing compared to such portrayal. Sometimes, unfortunately, managers or agencies can be the talent's worst enemy. Please always support the talent first. Imagine, like, joining a talent org and they're your biggest op. It really do be your own. Yeah. Yeah. For real. Fucking for real, man. So anyways, all of that is to say, fuck VShojo. All right? Good. I'm glad. You think this is funny? This company is falling? This company's burning to the ground and you're laughing? Yes. I think it's very funny, actually. Actually, I think it's very funny.